What happens when the miracle that you were expecting is delayed? How do you deal with having to pay that bill Friday and that thing don't come? How do you deal with knowing that if I just get in contact with Jesus, everything gonna be all right? But when you call on him, he don't show up when you think he should. The old saints used to say he may not come when you want him, but he'll show up on time. See, the part of that song that I got a problem with is not him showing up on time. It's him not coming when I want him to. Because there's been situations in my life when I wanted him to show up right then. But I found out that even the delays of God are for our benefit. That even when he slows down his coming and he delays his coming, it's really to make us better, because I found out that some of the delays in my life, if I would have got some of the things that I wanted when I wanted them from God, they would have messed me up. They would have hurt me better than they would have helped me. So I'm glad that God knows more what I need than what I know. And even the delays of God are really the blessings of God. I can't be in here by myself. There's somebody that has to be able to testify that I called on him. He didn't show up, but when he showed up, I'm glad he didn't come when I asked him to come, because that thing would have been more messed up than what I thought it would be. But when he showed up, I found out he was right on time. Listen, it does not matter when he shows up. The fact that he does show up is good news that he'll make everything all right. Here it is. His delays are not his denials. That just because he comes late doesn't mean he's not going to show up. Because I know that you may be at a point in your life right now where you're in that waiting period, where you're saying, when are you going to show up, God? When are you going to show up to fix this marriage? When are you going to show up to fix this relationship? When are you going to show up to deliver me from this habit or this addiction? Well, I'm here to tell you that although he may not have come already, he's still on the way. And he's blessing people in the process. Okay, y'all not getting it. Here it is. My baby girl Chosen. Her and her sister Jayla were hanging out with me in Atlanta last summer. And all of a sudden, my baby Chosen began to break out. My friend Tim is up there. I was calling him. I didn't know what to do because my baby was having these rashes. And I had to rush her to the hospital. And then the next day, it happened again. I'm calling her, Mama, what's going on? She said, take her to the emergency room. I take her to the emergency room again the second day. And when we take her to the emergency room, it takes forever to get in. And I'm sitting there and I'm worried, I'm panicking, I'm upset because it's taking forever to see my baby. I wonder why is delays happening. They should get my baby in there. She's sick. Why are they delaying? And then my baby Jayla, sometimes what she says the darndest things, y'all. But what she said that day messed me up. I said, what is taking them so long? Jayla, my baby, she was 7. She said, Daddy, if we out here waiting, don't that mean that the doctor is still in there? Listen, don't get mad about the waiting room. If you're in the waiting room, that means the doctor is still seeing patients. So don't worry about the waiting that you're going through. Don't worry about being in the waiting room of your life. You know that the doctor is still seeing patients. And if he's still seeing about other people, he don't mind seeing about you. He was blessing a woman with the issue of blood. But that's all right because he'll still see about you. Just hang out a little longer. And when the doctor calls your name, he'll take care of you like he took care of my baby and make sure everything is all right. Okay, listen, I got to finish this thing up. We see the declaration of Jairus, the decision of Jesus. But finally, we see the discussion of Jesus. Jesus gets to the house. They receive news on the way. You ain't even got to come because the baby's dead. Get to the house, and the Bible says that there are people there who are weeping and wailing about this little girl dying. Wait a minute, this bothers me because I just told you when he left a couple verses ago, she was sick. But now he's come back to the house. They believe she's dead. And there's people already there crying and mourning over her death. How do you deal with people who only show up in your life when things die? Okay. Because when I look at this text, the question I have to ask Dr. Banks is, where were these people when she was living? Text don't talk about them. But now that she's dead, they've shown up. How do you handle these people? Because there's people in all of our lives that's not going to show up and celebrate when your kids are doing well. But when things die in their life, they'll show up then. When they get bad news about what has happened to you, they'll show up then. When people are gossiping about you and talking about you, they'll show up then. They never show up to celebrate in life, but they'll show to celebrate in death. And I pray that God would deliver me from those people who don't believe in what God is doing in my life, and those people who are dream killers, and those people who don't see the vision where God is going and taking me, that he would deliver me from the people that only show up when things die in my life. But the question I had, Dr. White, is how do you handle those people? And the answer is real simple. You handle them the way Jesus did. The Bible says he put them out. I just read the text to you. The Bible says Jesus put them out. This helped me because I thought that doing the good Christian thing was to let them hang around and keep chilling with them and let them stay in your life. But I found out that I want to be more like Jesus, and what Jesus did when he had people in his life that only showed up when things died, and when he had people in his life that didn't believe in what he could do, Jesus says, I'm going to put you out. And that's what we got to do. We got to stop hanging out with people who don't believe in what God is doing in our lives. They're always talking about you can't do that, and you can't go there. You can't get into that school, and you can't get that job. Only show up when things die. We got to be more like, what would Jesus do? He'll put them out. You don't have to live your life with people who does not believe in where God is taking you. You can put them out. Okay, let me close this thing out like this. Tim and I, last May, we went out to Vegas for a missions trip. We went to witness to people in Vegas. We got a gambling ministry that we help people overcome. We was out in Vegas, Tim and I, and I had to fly coach. Brother Tim, first class. And we flew out there, but one thing that we had in common is that we had a layover in where does the Vikings play? Minnesota. We had a layover in Minnesota. And the only thing the layover was a time for the people who were not going where we were going to get off of our plane and to take all of their baggage with them. Let me tell you what a layover is again. A layover is a time for the people who's hanging out with us, who we've been talking to on the whole flight, who we've become acquainted with, who we got stuff in common with. It's a time for us to stop, say you've reached your destination, get off of our plane and take all of your stuff with you. We're going somewhere else. And every now and then what we need to do is have a spiritual layover. We need to stop long enough in life and say, if you don't believe where God is taking me, if you don't believe what God is doing, if you don't believe in where I'm going to stop long enough to let you off of my plane. But not only get off of my plane, but take all of your junk with you, because you're not welcome back on this plane. It's a time for us to get in a place where we're able to say, I don't know about what you feel about it, but I think God is going to do some stuff in my life. And I think God is going to raise some blessings in my life. And I think God is taking me somewhere in my life. And I'm not going to let you stop me. And is there anybody up in here early in the morning that believe that God is doing some good things in your life? Believe that God is taking you somewhere. Believe that God has more doors to open for you, more blessings to give to you, more ways to make for you, more mountains to help you go over. Well, if that's the way you feel this early, I dare you to stand on your feet and give God some praise and say, Lord, deliver me from people who's not going where I'm going. Lord, deliver me from people who don't believe in the vision that you have. Lord, deliver me from those dream killers in my life, because I believe you're going somewhere with me. I believe you're taking me somewhere. One more thing before I take my seat. If you really do believe that God is doing great things in your life, I want you to just take a few minutes and say, Lord, I appreciate that no matter how far I've been down, you've always picked me up. Won't he pick you up? Won't he make a way for you? Well, let the redeemed of the Lord say so. If he'll bless you, I want to hear you say yeah. Say yeah. Say yeah.